I know what you're thinking, Jack. The lights, the lights, but we usually get nice purple, blue, red, whatever colour I fancy, really, lights behind you. They're not working today. Don't know why. Hope that's not setting the tone for today's episode. Today we've got a whole lot to cover. Last episode, we crashed out the FA Cup. Since then, I've played, I think, 11 games in the league. And while that league table is still looking rather close at the top, AFC Wimbledon, they may have knocked us out of the FA Cup. They have fallen off since then. And if you were wondering, they got knocked out by Blackburn 3-0 for what it's worth. Not even like a good, sexy draw to get knocked out of. I don't feel that bad about yesterday at all. Not just coping about the fact we got knocked out. It's fine, I'm fine, I'm over it. But yes, Wimbledon have fallen off in the league table, but ourselves and Crew are still battling at the top. We've both already guaranteed promotion. In fact, the board have already set the budgets for next year, and I have been doing some wheeling and dealing. In spite of the fact it's the 30th of March, I've signed some players in January, we've got some new players coming in at the end of the year, and we've had our youth intake. I've changed the tactical system. There's 11 games. There's a lot to talk about today. Shall we run the intro? Seems wise. Let's get into things. Yes, folks, how is it going? Welcome back to Park to Prem. Like I've already alluded to, today is a bit of a jam-packed action one. We've got some big games in the league, but the reason I'm back at the end of March is because we've had our youth intake. And oh my, there is a player in this intake who's going to potentially start a match during today's episode. Sam Fahy. This guy, Scottish, 15 years old. Can we discuss how good he is? He's good, isn't he? He's really good. Super consistent performer, great physicals, great mentals, technicals not too bad for a striker. He's 15. He's 15. He can play centre attacking mid. That suits our new system, which I have been playing on the regular, the 4-2-2-2. But truth be told, I think his future does lie as a striker. He has signed on for the immediate future. I want to play him in a game today. In terms of the rest of the intake, of course, we were told we were going to get in a good goalkeeper and a good centre attacking mid. Callum Platt is that goalkeeper. Is he good? Yeah, he's fine. He's fine. I mean, compared to Isaac Warren of last year's intake, I just don't think he's quite as good. I mean, he could improve, I suppose. The bloke is 16. But yeah, not quite as easy to get excited about Callum. There are a few other players in this intake that could be good. Players like Costaglidis here, who plays as a winger. We don't play with wingers. Already training him to play attacking centre mid. And well, when it comes to the rest of these players, if any of them develop, I'll shine a spotlight on them when the time is right. Nana Diallo, another one of these players that we've got in the intake, who looks like he could be a good player, but he is going to have to improve a lot if he wants to get near our first team. Okay, so look, that is the youth intake covered. Let's tick that off. Now let's talk about sales, because last episode we had Bradley Edwards go to Middlesbrough, and then we loaned him back. I've sold another player to Middlesbrough. I mean, at this point, by the way, shout out to Middlesbrough. Pritchard and Edwards went to them for £1.4 million. They've also bid £1.4 million for Joe Richards, which I kindly accepted. And they loaned him back to me to the end of the year. Joe Richards, our 4th/5th choice striker. Not a bad player, but a player who I was struggling to find game time to with Guerrero joining us. So when Middlesbrough came along with this £1.4 million bid, I just accepted it. I feel like at this point, we are just Middlesbrough's farm team. I am confused by the fact they're obsessed with our players. I know someone probably thinks, Jack, you must just add yourself as Middlesbrough manager to sign all your own players. I can assure you, I've not been doing that. Milos here just has a weird obsession with rugby town footballers. Can you blame him? So yes, Richards left the club. The only other player to leave in January was Sean Harvey. I'll be honest, I didn't realise he didn't have a contract. Leamington just stole him on a free. I don't think he was going to get near our first team, though. Now, last episode, I discussed Matthew here, our South African youth international player we snapped up from the Portuguese team that got split in two, official name of them. I stole their best wonder kid as well in January. Yes, when Matthew left the club, I noticed Zenher now popped up as their key player. This guy, 18 years old, looks like he could be a good little player. Bad news, didn't get a work permit. So at the moment, we've got him loaned out to Cyprus. I don't know how long it takes to get a Cypriot passport. I hope he gets one. I was going to say, I hope he gets one. That used to be how work permits worked before Brexit. You loan players to other European clubs to get EU nationality. We're not in the EU anymore. I don't know what the plan is with this guy. I mean, I signed him because it was a free transfer. He could be good. Now, Zenhill was the only transfer that I brought in January, but I did choose lately to pick up 2 further players. 2 youngsters playing in the league below us who I thought could be good. The first, Ngoy, signed for £10,000 from Gillingham. This guy playing regular minutes in the National League. 18 years old, question marks over his potential, but I figured he'd be good for the youth team. Even if he was really injury prone, you know, I thought £10,000 worth a risk. He's got injured, sprained knee ligaments, out for 6 weeks with that. I hope he's going to stay fit when he joins us. And the other man I've signed is just a bit of a punt, really. Benjamin Hurst, playing for Fylde, 20 games played in the National League at 18 years old, was available for free. We've signed him for free. Now, you will notice as well here, there are 2 Liverpool youngsters I am currently looking to pick up. We just had the inbox item in the last few days of all the big boy teams releasing players. For people who have never played at this level, by the way, this inbox item at the end of March, keep your eye open for it. It's basically where youth players are told by the big dogs that they don't have a future at the club. As you can see, there was a couple of Liverpool players in this list of players that I've decided are worth a signing. The first is George Grandison, who I like the look of as a left-back. We don't really have a good young left-back prospect, so I'm hoping he could come good for us. Really, these players are just going to be squad players at best. And the other man we've picked up is Zagnon, German youth international. Actually looks like he could be a good little centre-back. Really well-rounded physicals, really well-rounded mentals. If we can pick him up on a free, that would be amazing. At the moment, no one else has made a bid for him, so fingers crossed. So we've talked youth intake, we've talked transfers, let's talk results. Like I mentioned, we've played a lot of league football, and to be honest, the league football here is good in terms of goal scoring. You'll notice here, after the AFC Wimbledon game, I decided I was going to go back to the new system, the 4-2-2-2, really persist with it and just see what we could get out of it. And following on from some really convincing results where defensively we did look a little better against the likes of Oldham, Accrington, Stanley and Mansfield, I kind of came to the decision, we're going to keep playing it. And it's gone quite well since then. And you may notice, looking at the goal scorers here, Jude is back in the goals. Jude had 6 goals in his last 20 games as of last episode. Look at this sea of green ratings. I think he's back. Maybe. So like I mentioned, we had 3 really good results in a row, and that was what convinced me, right, this is the system we're going to play. We then had to take on Sutton United. This was a good little result. You'll notice here that Matthew and Andrea playing as my centre-backs. Yes, these 2 guys together, both using our ESC slots. I came to the realisation that, you can see here, they have to be evaluated for a standard work permit on a certain date. In order to qualify for that standard work permit, I believe they have to play 80% of the possible minutes they could have played as players. Now, I've kind of played myself here, because both our ESC slots are used by centre-backs. But in order to ensure they hit that 80% of minutes played, they've both been starting alongside each other. And don't get me wrong, they've been playing really well. Look at the ratings, but I do feel a bit bad for Sean McLaughlin, who, as you can see, is unhappy at the moment. He wants a new contract, and he's not even playing for us lately. I'm sorry, Sean. I need the other blokes to get work permits. So after that Sutton result, 2 high-scoring games, 5-2 against Tranmere, 6-2 against Cheltenham. I say 2 high-scoring games. Really, these have all been high-scoring. Scunthorpe, 5-0 followed. You can just see here the variety of goal scorers, really pleasing to see. These are that run of more winnable games that I thought we'd have. You might remember at one point last year, I talked about this really nice, easy run of games. We've kind of been doing that run of games again lately. But you know what? You can only beat the teams that are put in front of you, and that includes Exeter here. We beat them 3-0. Really, really good performance. 3 goals in the first half, and Goma playing absolutely superbly as always. Ignore the fact he's been declining as of late. His form this year has been really, really good. 12 goals, 11 assists. Things you love to see. And another goal scorer you might have noticed in this game was Guerrero. His goal came in the 33rd minute. Has had a really good start to his time here at the club. 6 goals, 2 assists. Has primarily been playing as that centre attacking mid, although he has made appearances as a striker this year. But wherever we've played him, he's played quite well. And in order to get the most out of these guys, we've had them both as those 2 attacking midfielders in our new 4-2-2-2 system. Talked about it last episode, the fact that I felt like this could work with the players that we've got. I have constantly been tweaking things throughout this run of games. You'll notice here that Masters now features as a deep line playmaker in the team. We previously used an advanced playmaker, but recently I've gone to Ngoma, also playing as an attacking midfielder. Feels like this is just a really good versatile role, especially in terms of providing that little bit of width that's needed. Didn't really get the same results when using Ngoma as an advanced playmaker. And I do feel like the creativity these 2 players provide is just pivotal to our success. Yes, we've got Jude back firing on all cylinders, but truth be told, we've got some really good strikers in our team, but this area here is our real strength. These 2 players between them have been sensational as of late. Really, really happy with how they're doing. looking forward to seeing them play in rugby colours for the next few years at the very least. Anyway, most recently we took on Grimsby Town. I considered doing that for an away day, but I decided it was Grimsby, and no one wants to go to Grimsby. So instead, we're going to a much nicer fishing place of Morecambe. Now, you'll note Morecambe are down in 19th place. It is the kind of game that we should be winning. Following on from that, we do have a game against Torquay. Whilst we can't secure the league title today, if we could get some good results in these games, it could help us pull ahead of Crewe. They're currently 3 points behind us, but we have got that better goal difference. There's only 6 games left of the season. Now, I do feel like at this point, it's probably worth talking a little bit about the first team, because I've got the team sorted out here, and you might notice some players missing. Now, of course, we've got the trio of Edwards, Pritchard and Richards. These are the 3 youngsters that we've sold to Middlesbrough and loaned back. But knowing what happened last year with Hull Chuddy, where I couldn't bring him back to the club for a second year after his sale and the initial loan, really feel like we have to plan for life without these guys, hence the fact they're down in the under-21s. Now, these guys do provide some of the really good attacking midfielder depth, but that's not to say we don't already have alternatives out there. Yes, that's right, Klaus Jaeger, yet to play for the first team just yet, but this guy, you might remember, we signed him from Leipzig. He's been improving a lot this year. He's had a point to prove playing with the youth teams, and with our other attacking midfielder options leaving at the end of the year, he's someone I want to bed into the team for the last few games of the season at the very least. And elsewhere in terms of striking options, I've chosen to promote 2 youngsters who are going to feature in today's episode. The first, William Espinoza. You might remember this guy, very exciting American striker who came through last year's youth intake, had a little bit of a gap in his game when it came to his dribbling and, to be honest, just his general ability across the board. But in his first year at the club, he has shown some tremendous development across the board to the point where I'm willing to play him in the first team. I mean, when you compare him with Joe Richards, who we've sold for that massive fee to Middlesbrough, I don't feel like Espinoza's that much worse. Of course, I've already talked about Sam here, 15 years old, came through our recent youth intake. He's been at the club 2 weeks. I'm going to start him in this game. Is that stupid? He's starting in this game. Sorry, Goldsmith. Now, of course, we did also sell Sam Pitts, who was another one of our depth striking options. But when I look at the young attackers we've got in our ranks, we've got players sorted here, I feel like, for the future. Sam and William are great. One player with a little bit of a question mark over them is Norman Hamilton. I love Norman Hamilton. I've raised him as one of our own. He came through our youth intake. He's missed training and matches 5 times this year going out to nightclubs. He's unhappy because I've not been giving him enough first-team football. When I've played him, he's not exactly been super standout. We've had better striking options out there. But yeah, he's been an absolute pain in the bum. In fact, if I just search Hamilton in the news inbox items, you can see yesterday he didn't turn up for training. He's missed matches 5 times, and he also missed training here. Yeah, he just doesn't like to turn up. It is annoying. But I suppose the conveyor belt of Rugby Town strikers goes on, even if Hamilton doesn't go on to make it. And I suppose when you look at his star ratings, you have to raise question marks. I'm confident that Espinoza and Sam are going to be the futures of this team. I've just talked about the striking and attacking mid issues. Let's talk about the rest of the team while we're here, because we have played a decent amount of games since the last little squad recap. In terms of goalkeeping options, of course, Keeley has been the main man now for the last year or so. 12 clean sheets this year in 32 games, I'm pretty happy with. He did get injured recently, which saw Simkin come into the team. Simkin's contract's up at the end of the year, and whilst he'll never be good enough to be our #1 goalkeeper, he is the kind of player who I wouldn't mind keeping around as a backup. That said, if he wants to extend his contract, I need to give him the promise of playing him in more cup games. You might notice the issue there. We're not in any cup games. I've given him some league games with Keeley being injured. Hoping that might make him happy. If we lose him, it's not exactly the end of the world. Over in the defensive area, I already talked about the centre-back conundrum where Andrea and Matthew basically both have to play in order to try and qualify them for work permits by playing 80% of the games this season, or 80% of the minutes this season. You can't just sub them in and out. They really have to stay on the pitch. It has meant that in the centre-back area, I've not rotated things so much. Sean's not overly chuffed about that. Lissa really has become just a super squad option for us this year, and the other centre-back, I don't want to look at him. Callum Morland will not be here next year. Of course, in the full-back areas, Ricky D has been the ever-present force in the team, has continued to play superbly. Frequently, when I go to the club screen here, he's listed as the key player. I can't really understate how good he has been for us. His 3rd year at the club, and it just feels like he's getting better and better. Of course, at left back, Luke Chambers came in after Garrett went off to Luton for £7.5 million. Has he filled those boots? You know what? He actually has. 7 assists in 10 games. He has been a big beneficiary of the new system. He's just slotted into it really well. In terms of the depth fullback options, Bitumba's been the right back backup option. I'll be honest, he's been injured a lot. He's not really played a lot. When he has played, he's not been great. I do feel like depth in the fullback areas could be an area of focus for the summer. Of course, Jamie Stevenson is a good versatile option, was initially brought in to be our backup left back, and I suppose he still is that. But of course, on top of him, we've also got Brodie Spencer, who can do that both full-back job for us, playing both left back and right back. And sadly, Brodie is just better than Stevenson. So Brodie's been on the bench lately. Talked about Brodie as a defensive midfielder options. Of course, we are blessed with plenty of defensive mid options. I love our centre mid setup. The depth here is really good. We've got Mbamba, who has recently signed a new deal. His deal kicks in at the end of the current season. That will extend it beyond this year. That was a little bit of a concern, but he has been granted a work permit, and I'm pleased he's sticking around because he has been a good addition to the team. Timmy has been a surprise package. Remember when we gave him £1,500 and that seemed mental? I'll tell you what, this guy's been sensational this year. 7.22 rating, 8 assists, 5 goals. Things you love to see. Yeah, we'll ignore the fact he's been declining recently. He has been trustworthy. And alongside him, Stuart Masters, you might remember, was playing amateur football in Portugal. What a feel-good story. Picked him up in January after our scouts recommended him. He couldn't even play defensive midfielder, but I just kept putting him there for the last few months. And due to his good versatility, hidden attribute, he's learned that position already in a matter of months. And he, alongside Timmy, have just become the go-to defensive duo. Masters featuring predominantly as that deep line playmaker, trying to make the most of his 15 passing, really. Wish his vision was a little bit better, but in terms of deep line playmakers, I don't feel like you can go wrong with him. Okay, that's a little bit of a roundup of the squad and where we're at. In case you can't tell, pretty happy with our things going into the summer, but to cap off this year, I'd love to win the league. If we want to do that, we've got to take on Morecambe. We have got an away day to the Mazumba Mobile Stadium. I've never been to Morecambe in my life, no idea what to expect. Okay, folks, today we are heading north. This might be the most north we've headed, potentially. I don't know if it's further north, actually, than South Shields. It's definitely not as far north as South Shields. Here is the lovely town of Morecambe on the north coast, and here is the Morecambe FC Stadium, which, I mean, it's just a football stadium. I say it's just a football stadium. Great accessibility. I'm going to say, there's more accessible parking than there is just regular parking, looking at things here. It's not the grandest of car parks. You've got a caravan holiday park next door. If you ever want to go on holiday, you know, go for your Morecambe away day, then stay in a trailer for the night. 3G pitch, hockey pitch, football stadium. I guess let's just have a look at the street view, shall we? What have you got for me, Morecambe? Oh my word. We can't go in the stadium, but we can do a lap of the stadium. I love this. You've got a little pub next door, and then you've just got the football stadium, which actually looks quite good from here. Now, like I already mentioned, we can't go in the stadium from the looks of things, so instead we're going to enjoy a lap around the stadium. Here it is in all its glory. It's a football stadium that I don't think I've ever heard anything about Morecambe. It looked really good as we came in. This site here does look a little bit more depressing, although I rate the fact the storage is red. You know, they've kept the Morecambe aesthetic. Breeze blocks really add some nice character behind the stand. Here's the skip they don't want you to see. Paint it red, you would have got a point for that. Cycle shed, I assume that's for the smaller pitches. Here is the next stadium end. I'll tell you what, the main entrance that you go into does look impressive. They don't bargain on you coming around the back, do they? You know the Simpsons meme where Homer's got all his fat kind of tied round his back? That is basically Morecambe's football stadium in a nutshell. Here is the Gypsy King something. What is this? I mean, obviously Tyson Fury's called the Gypsy King. I assume it's related to that. This is the hard-hitting research you come for on Park to Prem. Here you can see commercial deal. He's going to sponsor the home and away playing shorts for the 2022-23 season, and presumably the stadium too. I'll tell you what, you don't want to be stuck in the parking zone yellow, do you? That does not look as welcoming as a car park. I mean, this part of the car park's nice. It's just a bit small, innit? They get a point for having a bar on one side and a regular club shop on another. I feel like at the lower levels, people aren't as egotistical naming their stores. Note the next few years of Park to Prem where the superstores and mega stores emerge. Disgusting. It's not exactly the most flashy of away days, nor was there particularly many talking points. Morecambe's Stadium. distinctly average. I mean, nice footage around the edge. There's nothing, though, in the stadium, and that's always going to hurt you on the scoring. If the skip at the back had been painted red, they would have got another point, but because it isn't painted, 4.5 out of 10. Sorry the people of Morecambe. Maybe it's nicer in person, but I doubt it. Just realised, hadn't actually got to the time of the match. Planned things well today. Let's get into this one. Now, Judy's coming back from injury and he's passed a fitness test, but you know what? I'm going gung-ho today. Espinoza, first start for him, and alongside him, Sam Fay. I assume it's just said Fay. I feel like Scottish names are weird, so it's probably just said Fay. If it's wrong, well, tough. He's now Sam Fay, I've decided. Elsewhere in the team, behind the two young starlets up top, we're going with Ngoma and Guerrero. Behind them, Masters and Timmy. In at centre-back, of course, Andreni Mkize. I believe it said Mkize. I googled his name to try and work out how to say his name. I believe there was like a disgraced health minister called Mkize. So I'm going to try and remember to say that name. If I'm just calling him Matty in 2 episodes' time, I was just struggling with the last name. Welcome to Work the Space. If you've been here before, you know what to expect with pronunciations. Left back and right back are going to be Chambers and Ricky D. Keedy back in goal after a long stint out with an injury. Good to have him back. Feeling good about things today. If those young strikers want to score, that will make it even better. Also, they both want squad numbers. Sam wants number 8. Sam, I can give you 28. And William Espinoza, you should have the number 50 for the 50 states of America. I don't know if that's a good or bad reason to give him the number 50, but I've decided that is the number he shall have. Does anyone else feel uncomfortable about the lights behind me not being on? It feels weird. I feel naked on set. Okay, set piece early on. What can we do here? It's going to be Guerrero over it. The young Spanish prince. Can he deliver? Nearly. The keeper, I think, has parried that wide. Now, I will say, on set pieces, we've got Mkize and also Chambers. They are the two men to aim for. Mkize's under it. Chambers was there too. Shaw heads it away. Morecambe on the back foot early on, though. We love to see it. Okay, 20 minutes played, that early highlight. False alarm, fake news. We are not playing great in this game. It's 0-0. One thing we've really prided on ourselves recently is our goal scoring. But of course, with two youngsters with a combined age of 31 up top, there's question marks to be raised as to, are they ready to deliver? Right now, they've not really had the chances to mess up, it feels like. And while we might need to do some defending here, Jones is running wide. Masters gets back for it. He's going to play it to Chambers. Options down the line, and Ngoma moving into that wide area, gives it to Fay. Espinoza's in the middle. Espinoza's got a fantastic afro in the 3D match engine. Guerrero, Ricky D. Espinoza's there. Ricky D. Guerrero. Wham, bang. Thank you, ma'am. It's 1-0. I have a little bit of a pet peeve in the Football Manager match engine, and it was on display here. Sometimes when a player has a shot at the goalkeeper, the ball hits the goalkeeper and gains speed. You see that? It's a weird, it happens. I've pointed it out now. It's going to annoy you when you play Football Manager 2. Whenever a keeper gets a hand to a shot, it like speeds up. Makes no sense. Also, that was another assist for Ricky D. That man gets so many assists. I don't big him up enough. Okay, right at the end of the half, they've got a corner. Nobody like that. Can we hold on to our lead at the break? It's half-headed away by Chambers at left back, although the ball's back in, and Timmy Davis, fantastic name, Timmy Davis, he's found the back of the net. He's Naruto running and celebrating in front of their fans. I'm fuming. I thought when we dealt with the initial thing here, maybe we were good. Chambers, I might have to take off Chambers here. Masters got out-jumped there, didn't he? It's 1-1 at the break. Didn't want that. Look, I'm going to get shouty. Far from pleased. Espinoza and Fay, I'm keeping faith in you. Chambers, though, I can't keep him on with an injury. I think the best option here is actually to bring in Brodie Spencer, play him at right back, and then play Ricky D at left back. Ricky D has a slightly better left foot. Gonna hope that's not a serious injury, because Chambers has already missed a slight period of football through injury since joining us. Don't want him to be injury prone, but it feels like that might be a thing we have to deal with. And he has been very good lately. The first 15 minutes of this half have almost come and gone. The temptation to keep the youngsters on the pitch is very much real. The sensibleness to take them off is also in the back of my head, although we might have a chance here. And Ngoma, Murphy, you beautiful man. 2-1, 13th goal of the season for him. Now, one thing I really do like about this shape and system is just the amount of players you get into the box. You can see Ngoma's found his way in, Guerrero finds his way in, as well as the attacking midfielders, and it gives you loads of options in the middle when the fullbacks do put the balls in. On that occasion, Ngoma comes up clutch. We have reinstated our lead. I'm looking at the ratings of our team and realising the two strikers are the two players not doing great. Espinoza, I'm going to take you off for Jude. I'm going to keep Fay on. I realise I'm playing Fay as a pressing forward here. Is that his role? To be fair, he's probably his best role. He's actually quite good at it, isn't he? 17 aggression. We need to make the most of it. Part of me wants to bring in Hamilton, but part of me knows he's been a knobhead and not turning up for training. So why would I play him? The answer, I'm not going to. We're on the attack again here. Faye is at the back post. He's not going to win a battle in the air. He is very small in the match engine. I don't know if you noticed it on his polygon, but in the aerial bit, it basically just goes to the centre. There is no aerial ability with Faye, but the boy can kick a ball on the floor well. Right, and Kize with the ball for us. Lays inside to Masters, using all that passing to pick out Jude. Players queuing up in the middle. There are plenty there. Guerrero scores, but the flag was up. It's not going to count. Now, of course, after this game, we are doing another game against Torquay. If you were looking for a shorter episode today, sorry, I've got to make it up to you guys after yesterday. We've put in one good performance here. I'd like to see another in the next one. Guerrero, what a finish. And I think one of their players have been given a yellow card whilst that's all been going on. Oh my word, we love it. Little bit of build-up play here from the wide area. Masters, Ngoma, Guerrero runs away from goal and just somehow manages to wrap his foot around that shot and find the bottom corner. Both centre attacking mids have got goals. Now I'm justifying the change in roles and formation, I feel like. They have played very well in this one. 6 minutes of added time at the end of this game. Morecambe maybe caused us a little bit of a scare at the end of the first half, but this second half we have been very, very good. Could we cap it up with a fourth goal? Timmy Davis, their goal scorer for them, clears it to Sykes. A little bit concerned about the lack of players back, but we are going to get back in position. Ricky D, sliding in at left back, puts in one tackle. Colville, though, still a bit of time and space to whip it in. Crosson is there, gives it to Syke. Crosson, shot over by Ebere. I realise I've called him Quasson there. It's Crosson. He should be called the Quasson. If he was in my team, he'd be given that nickname. I hope the Morecambe manager calls him that. It's free one here, by the way. Talking about Quassons. So that right there was a really good result for us. Crew lost 1-0 to York. We go 6 points clear, win this next game with our goal difference. The title is almost won. Also, a good day gets even better. Zagnon has agreed to join us from Liverpool. 18 years old. Oh, I think he's very, very exciting. I am paying him £550 a week. He probably is good enough to be a depth centre-back option for us, really, isn't he? Like, hear me out. If I just sell Callum Moreland, can Zagnon just come in to be the backup? I think he probably could. He is a bit of a downgrade. He's also 18. Chambers is only out for 1 day. That's good. And Faye made his debut in the team. Jaime Guerrero, you beautiful man. You were superb. So that is a good little result there, but we're not going to end things with that result. We've got Torquay up next. A home game against the team currently in 5th. They are trying to hunt down... I was going to say they're trying to hunt down AFC Wimbledon. Mathematically, they can't catch AFC Wimbledon. They're playing for pride. We've got the inbox item that everyone loves to see, the top 50 Wonder Kids. I feel like it's probably a little bit premature, isn't it, for me to be looking through this list, expecting to be able to sign any of these players. Yeah, it's definitely premature. Love the fact that Lincoln City have got a player, albeit in on loan from Fulham, but Lincoln City in League One have a player in the top 50 Wonder Kids in world football. This game is ridiculous sometimes. Now, the reason I didn't leave and just skip forward to the Torquay game is because I thought Faye was going to end up being our youngest ever player, but actually, I think Jack Skidmore, who also made his debut at 15 years old, has him beat. So, yeah, sorry, Faye. You can't have that record. I think he could still get youngest goal scorer. Does need to score a goal to make that happen. Anyway, Torquay is 2 days away. I'm going to rest up the players. We're going to get straight into that next one now. The transfer window's not open. The youth intake's happened. There's really nothing to do between matches except mash continue. Okay, game number 2. We're going to hop straight into it. Torquay, currently in 5th place. They can't make the automatic promotion spots, but they can play party pooper, and their playoff spot isn't secure just yet. When it comes to our team news, nothing too drastic going on here, although Faye and Espinoza are being dropped. Goldsmith and Jude are going to play as our top 2. These have been the 2 players that we've lent on a lot this year, 2 pacey forwards, which at this level, I feel like is always going to be good. Jude up to 28 goals for the season. By comparison, Callum, only 19. I mean, that's still a lot of goals, but only 19, Callum. Stepping up today, mate. Also, Jaeger, I've put on the bench. Norman was pissing me off so much, Norman Hamilton, missing training. I've decided that the Jägermeister himself deserves to start, well, on the bench. Start on the bench, that doesn't make sense. You know what I mean? In a dream world in this match, you know, that we play really well, we go nice and far ahead, and then I can bring on the subs. Faye, Espinoza, Jaeger, all the youngsters can just be let out to play. That's what I'd like to do. Torquay playing this defensive shape might be about to make that difficult. 3rd minute, Jude, shoulder injury. Faye, you're coming on, mate. Congrats. There's someone sat at home who was really disappointed I dropped the new youngster after one game. They're sat there thinking, justice, yeah, you've got what you wanted, he's on the pitch, he better bloody score now. That's all I'm going to say. Masters battling away for the ball. Chambers also getting in on the action. We managed to wrestle possession away, and now we're going to look to make something happen from the back. Andreni, wide to Chambers, out for a day, back in the team. Just 3 days later for this one. Couldn't really look to drop him. He's been so good for us, and the injury wasn't too serious. On that occasion, his pass a little wayward, and now, well, Chambers might have some chasing to do. Asula looking to get in behind Torquay, play it forward to Merritt. Andreni getting back, but not quick enough. Callum Morton gives them the lead inside the first 10. Can't remember if I mentioned it earlier. Torquay going into this game, 2 wins in their last 7. It's like Swindon all over again. It's got Swindon energy, this game. That episode still haunts me 2 days ago. I mean, what is going to make this even trickier is just the fact that they've got so many players back. The 2 defensive mids, the 3 centre-backs. We've not really had to play against this shape too much. Could be interesting to see how our formation matches up against it, I suppose, given the fact that they are going to have 2 defensive mids. And then, obviously, the 3 defenders to try and, well, deal with our overload, which has been something that we've really lent on, I feel like, throughout this year. Andreni has the ball and is going to lay it to Masters. He is, of course, working as that deep line playmaker, looking to work the play from deep. Mkize plays it wide to Ricky D. Got an assist last game. Could he deliver here? Whipping it in. Back post. Goldsmith is under it. Headed away, but Chambers on the other wing plays it in. And suddenly, a man's gone down in a heap. I'm doing something here. I might live to regret it. We've got a penalty, and Goma should be on it. He's not going to be on it, though. Sam. Please score. The last time I did this, Jude missed from the penalty spot. Sam, please. 15 years old. Why am I doing this to him? It's unfair. He scored. I thought the keeper was going to save it. It was never in doubt. Faye, I think, might have just become the youngest ever Rugby Town goal scorer. Not often you have a youth player come through your intake that you feel like you can just put straight into the first team. This is a man I'm putting that faith in. He could be the face of Rugby Town. This could be the start of a new chapter with that goal there. And Goma over the corner, looking to whip it in on the left foot. Back post, Chambers is under it. Ricky D there too. Goldsmith, Faye, back to goal. Difficult position to find himself in. Probably the right decision there to play it wide, or play it back so that it can be played wide, and then Murphy and Goma just doesn't Goma things. I bloody love this team. I love the fact that we've got players like Ricky D and Ngoma, players who have been here since the National North, players who I genuinely think could be here for the foreseeable future, just continuing to do stuff like this. You love to see it. Still, I'm hoping that Jude injury isn't too serious. They actually had an injury like a minute later. I wonder if that was a revenge kind of foul, or maybe both players got injured in the same collision. We may never know. We've got a set piece to deal with here, and it's one of those ones with a big build-up. This could be magical, or it could be a complete waste of time. Rydell is over it. He steps up, he shoots, Keeley tips it over. They've still got a corner, though. Rydell is their little set-piece weapon. This is weird, right? I don't know why I remember this. I feel like Rydell is the name of the guy who gives you a bike in Pokemon Sapphire and Emerald and Ruby. Could be mistaken. I think he's called Rydell, the bike guy. Maybe it's the same bloke. Probably not. Right, Timmy's over a corner here, whipping it back post. Chambers is under it. Again, it's cleared away, but we scored one of these earlier. Where is Ngoma in the middle to make something happen? Goldsmith, oh my word, he's gone on his own. What is that? I told him he had to step up before the game. He has stepped up. I'm sorry, I didn't mean it. Goldsmith gets the ball here. Did anyone think he was going to score from here, genuinely? I thought we'd have a nice, slow, chilled out highlight. No, the man turns on the afterburners and then just rampages into the box and sledgehammers it in. I mean, it's 3-1 at the break. Really good response to them scoring. Yeah, happy with that half. And Goma scored, Goldsmith scored, Faye scored, Guerrero, you're letting the team down, mate. I know he got 2 last game. Doesn't excuse him in this game here. Okay, Timmy corner. He is the man with that right foot weapon, which on this occasion, he's going to use to pick out their goalkeeper. Bishop collects. He's kicking the ball diagonally. Bishop by name, Bishop by nature. Ricky D, though, on the receiving end. Takes down the ball well. Mkize, our South African prince, what can he do? He lays it to Masters, who's going to spread it to Ngoma. Nice build-up play here There's time and space. Faye has made a run through the middle. Faye has scored. He's offside. I've seen the flag go up on the far side. You won't trick me, Football Manager. Got really excited for a moment that he'd scored another. No. Didn't even get a chance to celebrate it. I saw the linesman. Okay, we have got players struggling a bit with fitness here. Jaeger is going to come on for Guerrero. Jaeger, this is your time to shine, mate. Elsewhere in the team, I'm going to take off Masters, and I'm also going to take off Timmy just to rest them up. McKeezy is on a bucking. Don't love that. McLaughlin, come in and play a bit of football, and hopefully that'll stop him crying. 20 minutes against Torquay, he's going to make his day. Maybe. Guerrero, last chance for him before he gets subbed off. Shoot straight at the defender. I mean, it's 3-1. I don't want to get complacent, but I do feel like this game is in control now. And now I'm just excited to see Jaeger and Faye maybe do some stuff here for us. Ricky D's wandering into the wide area. I'll click on Jaeger. We'll get his name above his head. Ball's back post. Goldsmith's under it. Cleared away to Collins. Said about the fact that maybe I'm getting complacent. If they went and scored one now to make it 3-2, suddenly the pressure is ratcheted up on us. Merritt bringing the ball forward. Torquay had so many players behind the ball for so long, and now on a rare attack here, they've got plenty of players forward, including Collins, who hits the crossbar. Everything is fine. I'm calm. Chambers on the near side. You know what? I brought on Jaeger, and Faye's already on. I'm kind of tempted to bring on Espinoza with another sub here. If we get another goal, I'm definitely bringing him on. Spencer through the middle. Jaeger could score. Does score. We're not doing shots. Well, he's done a shot there, but I'm not getting drunk on stream. I know someone's going to mention that. It's like, every time he scores, you should do a Jaeger bomb. I do have a bottle of Jaeger in the fridge. No, we're not doing it. We're going to be sensible. Maybe. Maybe I'll have my own promotion party tonight, assuming I choose to finish the season off camera, which I think at this point we can say we're going to do. 4-1, Jaeger scores. Get Espinoza on. Wait, I've used all my subs. Sorry, William. I made him run up and down to get warmed up. You can't come on, mate. I've used all my subs. Soz. I feel like off the back of the last two live commentary results against Swindon and Wimbledon, I needed to prove a point. We needed to put in a better performance. I feel like we've done that today across the two games. We've not kept clean sheets, but we've very much done it the Rugby Town way. Plenty of goals scored, and we've won 4-1 here. Great to see Jaeger get on the score sheet, though. That's made me happy. With that result there, by the way, we go up to 100 points for the season, and Crewe have just drawn against Accrington Stanley. I mean, I don't want to say it prematurely. The title is won. We've actually won it, not mathematically, but kind of theoretically, I feel like now. We've won it during the live commentary. I'm going to claim that. Give us the trophy now. Jude has dislocated his shoulder and is out for 3 months. It's a good job it's the end of the season. He should be back for the start of next year. I mean, hopefully. Faye's got plenty of time now to play football. I suppose that's good news for him, isn't it? Also, just scouting play. Don't mind me, it's got players in Iceland being scouted, because that's what we do here. I've got the 10 scouts, they're all out doing their thing. It kind of makes me laugh when I look at the players that we've got scouted, sorted by abilities. We're scouting players in the Belgium amateur divisions, and my scouts actually quite like the look of him. He's very good, isn't he? I think he might be second yellow card. Another creator that you should definitely check out if you enjoy my kind of stuff. He has an obsession, I believe, with the Belgium amateur leagues. I do believe they produce some good players. Sam here looks quite good. Anyway, today's been a jam-packed and, well, action-packed episode as well. Plenty of goals, lots to talk about. I hope you enjoyed the little bit of a squad rundown. We have brought in a fair few new people over the course of this year. And of course, next episode, we are going to have a transfer special. I'm going to hope that Andreini and Mkize maybe get work permits permanently, so I open up an ESC slot for some kind of exotic signing. But to be honest, with the young players we've got coming through our ranks, there's not too many positions I look at as an immediate cause for concern. Coming your way tomorrow, we will have the start of the summer transfer window, a little bit of a season wrap-up as well. Let me know what you think of the youth intake, the signings that we've made, and some of the transfer decisions I've done. Am I an idiot for dropping just some of our better players that we've got in on loan that we've sold for the end of the year? I just feel like knowing that they're not going to play for us, we need to get rid of them, or at least prepare for life without them. Also, am I an idiot for signing this bloke without a work permit? The answer's probably yes. Please just lie to me down below. Hopefully you guys enjoyed today's episode, and hopefully I'll see you guys tomorrow. Until then, take things easy. It's me, Jack, and I'll talk to you guys in a bit. I'm out.